You're watching WYLN TV 35. Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Philip Kaufman, filling in for Julia Wiegand. We begin tonight in Afghanistan, where 2 suicide bombers and gunmen attacked crowds at the Kabul airport, killing 12 U.S. service members and 60 Afghans. Pentagon spokesman John Kirby said that one explosion was outside the Abbey Gate in the Kabul airport, and another a short distance away at or around the Barron Hotel. Marine General Kenneth McKenzie Jr. confirmed that 11 Marines and 1 Navy medic were among those killed in the attack, and another 15 military members were wounded. At least 60 Afghans were killed, with more than 140 injured. McKenzie also stated that the military believes the attack was carried out by ISIS-K, a splinter group of the terrorist group known as ISIS. Thousands have been gathered at the airport attempting to flee the country after the Taliban, who condemned the attacks as well, seized control earlier this month. Governor Tom Wolf sent out a letter to legislators Wednesday discussing the need for a mask mandate in Pennsylvania schools. Last year, the governor mandated that students and faculty wear a mask for the majority of the time they were in the school. Now, Wolf said his administration has been hearing from concerned parents, teachers, and medical professionals about needing a mandate for the health and safety of both students and school employees. The governor has yet to say that he'll issue one for schools if lawmakers fail to act. The letter stated that his administration will continue to monitor the situation, work with the General Assembly, and take action as needed to keep children safe in the classrooms. Geisinger announced Wednesday that all employees will be required to be vaccinated against COVID-19 by the fall. Geisinger officials stated that the decision follows months of careful study and discussion. They went on to say that they understand that some employees who have consciously chosen not to get vaccinated may be disappointed, but Geisinger hopes that they'll understand it's a necessary step to protect the health of both patients and colleagues. An exemption process is available for employees who have very serious or specific medical reasons or religious beliefs. All current Geisinger employees and new hires must be vaccinated by October 15th. Hazleton City Council unanimously passed new regulations for organizations who wish to conduct special events in the city. The approved ordinance categorizes events into 3 groups: parades, sporting events, and gatherings. The new rules require anyone who wants to host an event to fill out an application with the city's recreation department at least 28 days beforehand. Organizations must also pay a $500 deposit to ensure the location is clean and free of damage when the event is over. Fees will also be charged on a case-by-case basis. However, the city won't seek payment for those who have already had their event scheduled before the ordinance was enacted. AAA urges motorists to sharpen their driving skills as schools gradually go back into session. The current school bus driver shortage is resulting in longer bus routes, longer wait times at the bus stops, and more parents opting to drive their children. Drivers can also expect to see more students walking or biking to school because of the shortage. AAA advises all drivers to prepare for possible changes in and around school zones. Violators could face points on their driver's license, a 60-day suspension, and a $300 fine. Rush Township is looking to hire more officers under their new leadership of the interim chief of police. Interim Chief of Police Gerard Gallagher offered his first police report at the supervisors meeting, following former Chief Ken Zipovsky's resignation last month. According to his report, the department lost 34 shifts per month, with several resignations and other shift availability issues with officers. Supervisors approved beginning the process of hiring new officers, and Gallagher's hoping to pick up some experienced ones, so that they have to go through shorter field training. Trainees will start out at $16 per hour, which will bump up to $21 an hour once they're certified. Be aware along your drive on Route 93 as the Norfolk Southern Railroad began replacing their crossing on 3rd Street in Nescapec. The work began this morning and is expected to finish up by 8 a.m. on Saturday, August 28th. In the meantime, detours have been put in place. You can check the conditions on major roadways 24/7 by downloading the free 511PA app for the latest traffic delays, weather, and more. You can also visit 511pa.com or call 511 or follow their regional Twitter alerts accessible on their website. The Luzerne County Transportation Authority has a new leader with years of experience from nearby. According to a release from the authority, Robert Fume will take over as LCTA's executive director in October. Fume has 20 years of executive experience, including top jobs at the County of Lackawanna Transit System and Hazleton Public Transport. LCTA Operations Director Lee Horton has been serving as interim director since September of 2019 after the authority board terminated Norm Gavlik. They began searching for a new executive director when their latest effort to consolidate LCTA and Colts fell through earlier this year after Lackawanna officials declined to participate. Nexi Hazelton opened up its doors yesterday for an on-site job fair, and our Julia Wiegand stopped by to learn more about their plans to save the planet.
With the need for employers on the rise across the map, Nexi Hazelton couldn't have picked a better time to officially open the doors to their Hazleton manufacturing plant, located at 101 Carlton Avenue, and become the first all-green plant in the state.
So we're having a job fair. We're creating 200 green jobs in Hazleton. We have a factory. The name of the factory is Nexi. We're going to be producing all green buildings. We have contracts currently with Starbucks and a lot of the major Fortune 500 companies. And people have been coming in 4 or 5 a day, and so far we probably have a dozen. We're expecting a big, huge turnout.
Yesterday's on-site job fair included guided plant tours, refreshments, prizes, and goodie bags to take home, and even on-the-spot interviews for self-motivated, hardworking people looking for skilled manufacturing jobs. The company offers flexible day shift hours, competitive wages and benefits, PTO and paid holidays, and skills training. Production positions make up to $25 per hour based on the position, as well as experience and skill level. But if that wasn't incentive enough, those who filled out applications at yesterday's event were entered for their chance to win their very own autographed football signed by Philadelphia Eagles quarterback and Nexi ambassador Joe Flacco.
He's one of our big investors, active member. He's not just kind of on the billboard. He's actually day to day. We communicate with him, but he's currently at practice right now for the Eagles.
So, what's their mission? Well, to save the planet, of course.
That's a big thing right now, and we're doing our best to kind of keep our part. Global emissions are a big part of the pollution in the earth right now, and we're able to do that with the way that we build our buildings.
And that way includes using what the company calls Nexite, a proprietary reduced emissions concrete alternative that's energy efficient and emits less carbon than traditional concrete, while being resistant to fire, disaster, water, mold, and climate change. The more than $20 million investment into their Hazleton plant will be able to produce more than 8 million square feet of building panels every year to serve projects in Northeast U.S. markets, which include New York City, Philadelphia, and D.C.
Just like SIFOR, we're committed to saving the planet. We think this is a big first step, and we're really excited to be in Hazleton, and our next plant will be in Texas, which will be open in the second quarter next year.
Current open positions at Nexi Hazelton can be found at nexi.com/careers. And any questions can be emailed to inquiries@nexi.com. Reporting in Hazleton for WYLN News, I'm Julia Wiegand.
Thank you, Julia. Coming up on WYLN News, there's no crying in baseball, except for UPMC Williamsport babies. We'll explain. Plus, Philly, it's all about Philadelphia tonight at home. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
My name is Alexander Bonomo. I'm 12 years old, and tomorrow's WYLN forecast is partly cloudy.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts, just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
Sacco Chiropractic, East Broad Street in Hazleton has the health care you've been waiting for. Whether it's a chronic issue or something new, Sacco Chiropractic has the most up-to-date techniques and therapies to help with any ailment. From his days of playing football with the Cougars and then in college, Dr. Scott Sacco has an elite understanding of sports injuries and how to correct them. Whether you are an athlete, a weekend warrior, or a grandmother, we can help with multiple issues. Call today to see why relief is super, man. 570-497-4150.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 for more information.
Hey guys, this is Ray Merrill from Blaze Alexander Mazda, Greater Hazleton. Come check this out. It's the season of discovery. 2021 Mazda CX-30s, got them. 2021 Mazda CX-5s, got them too. 2021 Mazda CX-9, got them. 2021 Mazda CX-30 for 0.9% for 63 months. 2021 Mazda CX-5, 0.9% financing for 63 months. Blaze Alexander Mazda Greater Hazleton has inventory. Check them out at blazemazdahazelton.com.
It's never too early to become a fan of America's favorite pastime. To celebrate the Little League Baseball World Series, the birthplace at UPMC Williamsport is gifting new arrivals with their own baseball gear. Unit Director Caitlin Fowler said that they're happy to once again be able to celebrate this special time with families, welcoming their little ones into the world at the birthplace. She went on to say that this gives them the opportunity to share with the families what makes Williamsport so special, and their time with them even more memorable. Babies born during the series receive a baseball onesie uniform, a hand-knitted baseball cap provided by local knitters and the Prayer Shawl Ministry of Mill Hall, and a special UPMC baseball pin. Our WYLN sports crews gearing up to bring you game number 1 of the 2021 high school football season. We kick off with some live Comets Millionaires action tomorrow night, August 27th, when we travel to Mountaintop for Crestwood's home opener against Williamsport. Tune in for your Friday night fill of Marty Burns, Joe DeMelfi, and our WYLN sports crew, bringing you the event, not just the highlights. Sponsored by Lehigh Valley Health Network, your orthopedics and sports medicine partner. No plans tonight? No problem. Got some? Well, cancel them. Instead, tune in for your weekly dose of Friday Night Football and all the live local action right here on WYLN TV. And WYLN's all-time OT hero, Marty Burns, has the in-depth analysis of what's happening on and off-season across our viewing area. So, let's talk sports.
Welcome into another edition of Let's Talk Sports, brought to you by Blaze Alexander, Family Dealerships Hazleton. Tonight, the Phillies at home hosting the Arizona Diamondbacks for a 4-game series, and they'll be hosting Gary Varsho's son, who is a catcher on the Diamondbacks team. Varsho, a former player and coach, and he had both stops with the Phillies as both a player and a coach through his career. And his son had a great feat that he was able to perform in on August 14th. Tyler Gilbert, a former Philly farmhand, in his first ever major league start, became the 4th pitcher to throw a no-hitter. Varsho's son was the catcher that night in Arizona, as Gilbert got the no-hitter over the San Diego Padres. And it reminds me of a great leader that the Phillies had. A lot of times you hear about these great leaders throughout sports, and I thought the Phillies had one back in the 90s, especially on that 1993 team, who I say is the most loved Philadelphia sports team that didn't win a world championship, and it was those Philadelphia Phillies who ended up losing the World Series to Toronto in 6 games. But Dalton was the unquestionable leader of that team. They were called Macho Row, and Phillies broadcaster and first baseman on that team, John Crook, often talks about how they policed themselves, and even then manager Jim Fregosi said he didn't say much, he let them police themselves, where if something had to be said, Crook said that Dalton would just take somebody into another room and explain that their game had to pick up, and a lot of times their game would pick up after that conversation from Darren Dalton, and there were a lot of people that respected Dalton I know John Crook has said that his daughter on her softball team, she wears the number 10 that Dalton wore for the Phillies. Carly Lloyd of the United States women's soccer team, who recently announced that she's going to finish her fall commitments with the United States team and then retire. And through all those great years on the soccer team, she wore the number 10, which brings me back to the Arizona Diamondbacks playing the Philadelphia Phillies, with Varsho's son coming to Citizens Bank Park starting tonight. And why do I mention that? Because his name is Dalton Varsho, in honor of Darren Dalton.
Coming up on Williamsport's News Choice, we take a trip down to the Carbon County Animal Shelter in Community and You. Plus, leading the way, Part 4. Stay with us.
Membership opportunities are now available at the Valley Country Club, 79 Country Club Lane in Sugarloaf. Clubhouse upgrades are in progress and will be ready for the spring. Call Frank Radis for details at 570-233-5328.
Two Kings Pizza, Route 309 in Hometown. They're serving pizza, sub salads, calzones, dinners, and catering. Two Kings Pizza, home of the drive-thru pickup pizza window. And they deliver. Two Kings Pizza, 570-668-5454.
Tri-County has been keeping your office up to speed since 1969. Everything your office needs: office supplies, personal and custom business forms, business cards, office furniture, new and used office equipment, copy, print, and scan solutions with wide format capabilities. Leasing is also available, free off-street parking, and free local delivery. Tri-County Business Machines, 117 East Broad Street in Hazleton, 570-459-0754. Family owned and operated since 1969.
Imagine how inconvenient your life would be without power. No lights, no refrigeration, no heating or cooling, no electronics. But with a Generac home standby generator, you will have power when you need it most. Generac generators automatically provide backup power after sensing a power outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted.
The Wire Guys, 1338 North Church Street, Hazel Township, 570-459-3345, and visit us at homewireguys.com.
At Grand Central, our family has been supplying your family with quality brand name furniture, mattresses, and appliances for over 3 generations. Whether you choose from our excellent selection of Lazy Boy, Catnapper, or England furniture, or from our fantastic selection of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we guarantee total comfort in every room of your home.
With expert advice, everyday low prices, plus interest-free financing for up to 60 months.
From our family to your family.
Grand Central in Hazleton. Everything to make your house a home.
It's high school football time. Watch WYLN for all the local high school football action as we bring you the event, not just a highlight, like only WYLN can. The Game of the Week on WYLN TV is sponsored by Lehigh Valley Health Network, your orthopedics and sports medicine partner. For the best in local sports, watch WYLN TV 35. The event, not just the highlights.
A big reason dogs wind up in shelters is because they stray either from their homes or yards and end up lost. In most cases, they don't mean to run away from home, but could sure use help getting back. The Carbon County Animal Shelter's Executive Director Tom Connors has some advice to prevent this scenario from happening.
The biggest thing pet owners can do is to keep an eye on their pets. If you have a dog, keep an eye on it. Don't let it get out. There's thousands of people that have dogs, and their dogs don't go running free. Sometimes good dogs, good people, dogs get out. It does happen. Accidents happen. Dogs do slip out the door or get out the gate. Somebody forgot to lock. But it becomes a problem when people do it as a habit and thinks it's okay to let their dog run free. Then sometimes you have problems.
Losing your dog is a very stressful event, so remember to remain calm and contact the proper authorities.
If you lose your dog, you should call the police or the nearest shelter and let them know. Give a description of your dog, let them know what the dog's name is, give a couple contact numbers so people could call you or call a neighbor should somebody find the dog. But you need to start looking immediately as soon as it's lost. Most dogs don't go too far. and then when they realize they're lost, they'll hunker down. So the chances are, if you get in your car and go looking and calling, you're going to find your dog. So look for it right away.
Microchips are helpful in identifying lost pets. They're about the size of a grain of rice and are placed under the animal's skin. It's a radio frequency identification transponder that carries a unique identification number.
Microchips are a great tool for a dog. Number one, it allows you in Pennsylvania to get a lifetime license. That's one fee, one time, and you're done. So that's fantastic. And it also allows your dog to be identified should it come into a shelter. So if a dog comes into a shelter and it has a microchip, we can find out who the owner is as long as it's registered. So the microchip is a handy tool, and it's good to have on all dogs. And it's relatively inexpensive, so it's a good thing to do. People can call the shelter if they need more information.
Dog tags are a useful tool and one of the easiest ways for shelters or people to contact the dog's owner.
Listen, the law requires that you have a license on your dog in Pennsylvania. Sometimes that law is overlooked when a dog is loose. We want to get the dog home as soon as possible. So the best thing for your dog is a tag with the dog's name on it and your number, because that's really what's going to get it home right away. By calling your dog by its name that it knows, it feels a little more secure, and by having your phone number, we're able to reach you right away and then get your dog back home to you. So that's the best thing. If you don't have a tag, take a magic marker and write your phone number on the collar, because then when someone grabs your dog, then keep it safe, they have the number there. If you don't have a collar on your dog, shame on you. Then maybe you should look into getting somebody else to take care of your dog, because a collar, a tag, a license, everything is cheap. It's not a lot of money. You take a responsibility to care for a dog, that means keeping it safe. So get that ID on your dog. I did come across a dog with a tag on it last week, went out 11 o'clock at night, found the dog, held the dog, called the number on the tag, called the number. It turned out that the number was a house phone number and not a cell phone number. So keep that in mind. You want your cell phone number on that tag, because most likely you're going to have your cell phone on you at all times. That's the best way of getting your dog home.
And finally, there's no sweeter moment than when an owner is reunited with their dog.
Times a dog comes into a shelter and the owner is right behind it 5 minutes later. And for that, we appreciate it, because a dog coming into a shelter is very stressful for him. So when we have an opportunity to get a dog home the same day, that's what we try to do. So every time a dog goes back home, that's a good thing. And we're happy to keep it safe and keep it off the street. And our job is to hold it, keep it as calm as possible until the owner can come and get it.
The Carbon County Animal Shelter currently has several good boys and girls who are looking for their forever home. You can give the shelter a call to make an appointment to come check them out at 570-325-4828.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi Electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Renai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
Hi everybody. Tune in this week for Let's Talk Chiropractic. Virginia Hydock is 82, had a bad foot, a bad finger, and a bad hip. Chiropractic care and a laser, it's given a new life. Tune in and see if we can help you.
WYLN CA35's children's programming is designed with the specific purpose of serving the educational and informational needs of children. In compliance with FCC guidelines, a copy of the Children's Programming Report is on file for public inspection at WYLN 1057 East 10th Street in Hazleton, Pennsylvania during normal business hours. To view the report online, visit fcc.org.
WYLN's going behind the scenes to learn more about the lives and goals of our local leaders. So, Mike Camisa's leading the way again into part 4 of this week's series. And welcome back to this week's Leading the Way with Mike Camisa. So, what are some of your biggest achievements in life so far? I know there's a lot of life left, so a lot of achievements to come, but what are some of the biggest achievements you faced and some of the biggest challenges you've faced so far?
Like you said, I'm young and hopefully have a long life to live and to achieve some more, but number one, I am most proud of my career in Boy Scouts. I'm actually an Eagle Scout. And when I went on to study at DeSales University, a few of my friends who are also Eagle Scouts founded a inner city Boy Scout troop for low-income students. But aside from that, I served as class president at DeSales University, and then in grad school at the Bush School, I served as chief of staff for their Student Government Association.
Oh, wow.
So, and then as far as biggest challenges, I ran for Congress and lost. I wouldn't say that I came out a loser because I gained so much from it. The connections, the people, the things I learned about northeastern Pennsylvania is just absolutely incredible. It was a grind every day. There's a lot of self-doubt. It's a pretty lonely journey for those of you who've never run, but extremely rewarding when you get to talk to people up in Wayne County and Pike County and Wilkes-Barre and Monroe County and here at home. You get to validate people's concerns and feelings, and hopefully I brought something to the race. Hopefully I brought some voice to some people who felt left out. So I'm extremely proud of that, even though it was a challenge, but I think I overcame it and learned from it, and I wouldn't be at Emmanuel Christian School today if it wasn't for that.
All right. All right, folks, check back tomorrow night as Mike continues leading the way into our final segment of this week. Good night. And that's the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest on our Facebook page, YouTube page, or at WYLNTV.com. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN TV.